No one anticipated the recent episode, which may be the biggest bombshell in Love and Hip Hop Atlanta history. VH1 released footage so explosive that it shut down social media for hours. Just when fans believed Kirk Frost had finally cleaned up his act and Rasheeda could finally breathe, on screen, a woman emerged. Someone completely new, claiming to be the mother of Kirk's other child, one that even Jasmine was unaware of rather than Jasmine or anyone from the typical mayhem. Additionally, when producers began to roll the tape of a secret, everyone on the internet held their breath throughout the paternity test. However, Rasheeda's expression upon learning the truth was the actual moment that stunned everyone. She refrained from screaming, she refrained from crying. She simply got up and left. Mic is still on, cold, silent, and finished. This was not your typical scandal. Once again, this was betrayal. The fans were stunned. Is this a recent child? During this period of redemption, was Kirk concealing this? Why didn't VH1 reveal it earlier? Above all, what will Rasheeda do at this point? Because she might not return this time. Frost Bistro, their store, was roaring once more, and they even had a playful conversation about potentially repeating their vows. Okay, maybe they're really healing, fans thought. But what transpired at the 14-minute mark completely altered the story. A manufacturer sat down with Kirk and casually said, "So, we've been contacted by someone claiming to be connected to your past." She says, "It's urgent." Obviously taken aback, Kirk played it cool, chuckling uneasily and dismissing it, as he usually does when things become awkward. However, VH1 wasn't playing this time. A young woman in her mid-20s is shown sitting in a hotel room, mic'd up and prepared to speak. She didn't have a dramatic appearance. She didn't appear to have come for attention. She appeared worn out, exhausted, and determined. Her initial response was, "I'm not here to start no drama. I just want my child to know the truth about where they came from." The truth, the internet instantly became active. She continued by saying that she had first met Kirk in 2001, before the cameras, before Rasheeda's rise to stardom. She claims that during their brief connection, she became pregnant. But he disappeared when she tried to tell him she was gone. She claimed that because she was young and afraid, she gave up, trying to get in touch with him after several unsuccessful attempts. The child, who is now 2 years old, was raised by mom alone, and she only recently made the decision to come forward after witnessing Kirk act similar to the TV Family Man of the Year. Fans were taken aback. Jasmine's predecessor, for some reason, this was never discussed throughout any season. The pain felt new, although the timeline was disorganized long before Love and Hip Hop. What exacerbated it? She had invoices. She took out old pictures of Kirk at a birthday party with his arm around her when he was considerably younger. She claimed to have letters from him. The most astounding thing, though, was when she handed the filmmakers a request for a paternity test that she had mailed. Kirk is said to have disregarded it last year. He's grown now. He don't need Kirk, but he deserves answers. The mom responded when producers asked the child whether he wanted to meet Kirk. Cut to Kirk seated in a producer's office, attempting to look unconcerned, lips tight. His entire demeanor changed, and his smile vanished as he saw the picture. "I don't remember that. That could be anybody," he mumbled. But fans recognized the expression in his eyes. It wasn't bewilderment. Guilt was that. Then came the confrontation that VH1 had been hinting at all week. Like the rest of us, Rasheeda and Kirk sit side by side on the couch and watch the video for the first time. Additionally, when the mother used the phrase child, Rasheeda's expression went cold. She didn't blink. She stopped breathing. She simply turned to face Kirk and uttered a single sentence. "Do you have anything to say before I toss this microphone?" The episode came to an abrupt finish. The repercussions were immediate, and Rasheeda's quiet said more than words. Fans flocked to social media as soon as that moment concluded. Within minutes, hashtags like "Kirk got another kid," "Rasheeda deserves peace," and LHHATL were trending on Twitter. The scene was already being sliced up by the blogosphere. Reaction videos were making the rounds on Rasheeda's Instagram and TikTok. Messages like, "Stay strong," "Queen and he played you again" were flooding the comments section. The most bizarre thing is that Rasheeda didn't publish anything at all. Not a heart. It's not an episode trailer. Nothing. Production-related sources disclosed that Rasheeda quit filming right away following that altercation. Later that day, she was supposed to return for the group scene, but she never did. Skipped the after-show taping and failed to return calls from producers. According to one insider, fans concurred after hearing him declare, "This man humiliates me every chance he gets. I'm done. This ain't even TV no more. This is my life." It didn't feel like a plot. This betrayal felt authentic, unvarnished, and unedited. Kirk, meanwhile, was fumbling. "Y'all don't believe everything you see on TV?" he remarked in a brief Instagram video that was shot in his car the following morning. No one was buying it though. There's always more to the story. I'll clear this up real soon. He was dragged by the comment section. When Jasmine appeared as well, you mentioned that one user responded, "How many kids got to show up before you quit lying?" Someone else said, the lady at the center of it, all the one claiming to be Kirk's child's mother, was becoming viral while Kirk struggled to contain the damage. Tasha's her name. She avoided social situations. Media, but one of her previous Facebook posts began to reappear. "Another year around the sun for my baby boy. I still wish his father was man enough to show up for him, but I'll always be both parents." She wrote in a birthday message from 2 years ago. Fans were referring to the young man in the attached photo as Kirk's twin because of his strikingly similar features. Eyes, smile, and attitude. Then came the true twist. An old direct conversation between Kirk and Tasha, dated only 8 months ago long after he claimed he didn't remember her, was published. It said, "I told you we can't talk about this again. That was a long time ago. Don't bring this to VH1 or my wife." Boom. Proof. Not only did he recall her, but he also cautioned her against going public. At this point, everyone realized that this was more than simply a scandal. It was the disintegration of Kirk's redemption arc, and for Rasheeda, it might be the last straw. The internet was devouring Kirk, and Rasheeda remained silent, a deafening stillness. In actuality, Rasheeda was avoiding the public like her life depended on it. Sources claimed that the night the program aired, she packed a suitcase and left. Fans urged her for a post, a story, or even just a song lyric to give them a hint, but nothing came. Rasheeda was absolutely taken aback and emotionally unprepared for another betrayal to unfold in front of millions of people. According to those close to her who told the Shade Room that Kirk was attempting to dominate the narrative as Rasheeda stayed with her mother. "That situation y'all saw on the show is complicated," he said in a second, longer video. "It dates back many years. People are raising issues again in an effort to gain influence. Don't trust every tear you see on television." However, that action backfired. When viewers saw that boy's face, it was game over. He looked like Kirk, walked like Kirk, and even had that same smug smirk. Tasha responded in the most brutal way possible by moving in with her son. Tamar Braxton's cousin even remarked that boy could host Frost Bistro with no ID. It was obvious that Kirk finds him endearing. Tasha maintained her composure during the live performance and didn't criticize Kirk. "This ain't about money, clout, or love and hip-hop," she continued, without criticizing Rasheeda. "Truth is at issue here. My son should be aware of his identity and origins." The son sat quietly, nodding, and added, "I aren't searching for a father. All I want to know is why I was treated as like I didn't exist." The internet was rocked by that one sentence. Blogs were reposting, and fans were crying. Celebrities began leaving comments as well. Yondandi Smith reposted the video with the caption, "Accountability matters," and Candy Burrows left a heart emoji. It was evident that the public's perception of Kirk and VH1, they leaned into the chaos. Releasing supplementary, unseen footage of the program in which Kirk is shown backstage, requesting that some sections of the encounter not be aired. In the film, he says, "I got my wife back after all that Jasmine mess. Don't treat me like way ever again. Cut that scene. It's too late." The fact that Kirk attempted to manipulate production once more infuriated fans, who began sharing earlier videos of him gaslighting Rasheeda and comparing his tone. "It was just a mistake, babe," he said in a clip from season 6, displaying both his words and his crocodile tears. "You're exaggerating." This season, he repeated the same phrase. But now people weren't simply furious. They had had enough of Kirk, the lies, and Rasheeda always being the one to tidy up his mess. Then, the whispering started up again. After being silent for days, Rasheeda's next move left the internet frozen. A solitary photo without a caption, filter, or glitz. Is this the plot that finally breaks Rasheeda? The sight of Rasheeda sitting by herself on the Frost Bistro terrace, barefaced, drinking tea, her eyes red, and holding a tissue in her lap struck a new chord with viewers. I could tell right away that she was suffering not only from betrayal, but also from public humiliation once more. This time, there was no justification, no editing, it was simply TV, and it was too genuine, too unvarnished, and completely preventable. Rasheeda's silence became her strength as Kirk continued to try to spin the story. Everyone was waiting for a comment, a tweet, something, but she didn't give it to them. One picture was sufficient. In the background, you could even see a portion of the family's first mural painted on their company's wall. The irony was painful. At the same time, Kirk's world was collapsing, business was slowing down, and he was being dragged by bloggers. A former partner stated, "They're great people, but this ain't a good look for our company right now." Rumor had it that a number of brands had quietly withdrawn from collaborating with Frost Bistro because they didn't want to be connected with the negativity. Jasmine intervened just as things were about to become worse. Yes, that Jasmine, mother of Kirk's other known child, hopped on Instagram with a cryptic quote, "You're not sorry. You're simply sad that you keep being caught." Boom. That post racked up thousands of likes in minutes. People flooded her comments saying, "Girl, speak on it." Jasmine never gave names, but everyone knew exactly who she was. "And he did you dirty, too," referencing Cerebri sin. For a brief period, fans even began to defend the woman who had previously been called the ultimate home wrecker because she was no longer alone. What was even more startling was Jasmine's suggestion that she had previously met the other baby mama. In a comment that was swiftly removed, she wrote, "We crossed paths several years ago. Let's just say that the truth would eventually surface. It was only a matter of time." Hold on. What? If Jasmine was aware of Kirk's further secrets, even at the time, it presents a horrifying potential. Was Rasheeda the only one who didn't know? Because it indicates that Kirk's betrayal was more widespread than anyone realized. If other women were working behind the scenes to piece this puzzle together while Rasheeda was attempting to keep the marriage intact, he was strategic in addition to being dishonest. A leaked group chat between members of the LHHATL cast appeared in it, adding more fuel to the flames. We all knew Kirk had another kid. They just made a deal not to put it on the show. One cast member allegedly wrote, "Fans went crazy up to this point. But VH1 knew this all along and waited for the ideal opportunity to broadcast it all for viewers." Now, the indignation wasn't only directed at Kirk, it was also directed at production. Additionally, others began demanding that Rasheeda quit the show entirely, claiming that they should stop degrading her in exchange for a paycheck. To be honest, they were correct. The betrayal just continued to worsen, and Rasheeda had now reached her breaking point. According to people close to her, she hadn't answered Kirk's calls in days, banned him on all social media, moved out of their shared house, and was now spending time with her inner circle in a private setting away from cameras. Acquaintances, particularly producers. According to one insider, Rasheeda even said to a friend, "I'm sick of being the plot. I'm sick of filling in for him. He can explain it on his own this time." Kirk, however, was not providing an explanation. Rather than taking responsibility, he doubled down on diversion. He shared an old video of his family grinning during a birthday celebration with the message, "Real ones always come home." The commentators weren't amused by the solid over-perfection. "You've been hiding kids longer than you've been raising them," a fan commented. "Take a seat." Another said, "This time, Rasheeda needs to go permanently." There's no justification for this. VH1 threw another grenade, releasing never-before-seen confessions from earlier this season. As Kirk attempted to turn the story into a redemption arc once more. One footage, which startled everyone, showed Kirk speaking in private with producers. Fans were now certain that he was getting ready for the Tasha reveal months ahead of time. So not only did he know about the child, but he also hinted that there were other things he hadn't informed Rasheeda out of concern she would leave. He never named anyone. Even former cast members of LHHATL began to speak out. Carly Red tweeted a mysterious message that said, "Woo!" The child's mother had reached out, and instead of being honest, he chose to wait until the network cornered him. But you guys have been concealing more than simply phones. You have complete human beings that you refuse to acknowledge. Fans were able to make the connection right away, so she didn't have to name names. By now, Rasheeda had turned into the face of emotional exhaustion, and the internet was supporting her more than ever. TikTok edits, tribute reels, and even audio montages of her previous outbursts over Kirk were going viral once more. A scene from season 3 showed her sobbing in the kitchen and saying, "You keep lying to me," over and over, received more than 4 million views in a single day. People weren't just responding. They were reliving every second she spent standing by Kirk, wondering why she stayed, and hoping that this was the last straw. Finally, the moment fans had been waiting for arrived. Rasheeda went live. When Rasheeda finally went live, it wasn't for influence. Rather, it was a cry from a woman who had been suppressing pain for too long. The screen showed her sitting silently, appearing emotionally spent, with puffy eyes and a quivering voice. She took a deep breath before speaking. She said, "I don't owe anybody anything, but I'm tired of being the quiet one, the strong one, the forgiving one." She didn't have to mention Kirk, but her words struck like thunder. She paused, wiped her eyes, and uttered what admirers had been waiting years to hear. "This time, I'm not covering for him. Betrays your peace, your trust, your soul. How many times do you let it slide before you stop calling it love?" Mimi Faust remarked. "Say that, sis." As thousands of hearts flooded in and celebrities appeared. "We've got your back," Tammy Rivera continued. It was that he concealed that from me, and he didn't just lie to me. He lied to our children, to his family, to his own reflection. And I can't be a part of that. That was the most honest Rasheeda had ever been with her followers. Rasheeda closed the live performance with a comment that left fans stunned. Sometimes peace costs more. It was the closest thing to proof that Rasheeda was leaving the show, not just the marriage. Then love, and I'm finally prepared to pay for it. Following the live broadcast, VH1 unveiled a teaser for the following week's episode, which featured Kirk knocking on Rasheeda's mother's door without receiving a response. That one image said it all. The man who used to be in charge of the plot, whose spies went live and stated, "I never thought Rasheeda would actually leave." The cast, who had always managed to get back in, was suddenly emotionally and physically barred out. Since the first season, she had been keeping him down. "Safari, she deserves a better story than this," someone said. By this point, fans weren't simply responding. They were picking sides. Campaigns to keep Kirk out of the upcoming season started to gain traction, and fans were calling for Rasheeda to have her own spin-off with a healing theme. Business and legacy without the burden of betrayal. The story was being picked up by platforms outside of reality TV, such as EssenceBet, which ran features on Rasheeda's journey, portraying it as a tale of empowerment and ultimately letting go. Kirk remained silent throughout. The moral of it all is that secrets may remain concealed for a season. But no more lives, no more posts. Just a guy watching his empire collapse, not because the truth was revealed, but because he refused to own it. But ultimately, they blow up. This one was too much. Kirk's secret child has finally been revealed. And Rasheeda's response gave us the most authentic moment in hip-hop and love history. We saw a woman stand in her truth, end her silence, and perhaps leave a guy who has deceived her too many times. But what comes next? Please let us know what you think. Should Rasheeda permanently leave this time? Do you believe Kirk has more secrets? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next breakdown because, baby, this ain't over. Should VH1 offer Rasheeda her own program to recover her narrative? Rasheeda is the number. Kirk Frost's number. LHHATL is the number. Hidden child by number. Rasheeda's number, silence is broken. Dramas on reality TV. Hip-hop and number. Love VH1T is the number. Calculate the emotional harm.